Hey, welcome, welcome. Thanks. Thanks for stopping in. I came through your live this morning. I don't know if you're done for the day or not. Thank you for stopping in though to check up on me. I do appreciate it. How's your day? What time is it in your country? Because you're in India, right? Hopefully everybody's having a super Saturday for sure. Oops. Dang it. For sure, for sure. Hello, hello. Welcome to my chat with Dr. J. Thank you for stopping by. Come right in. Come right in. Hopefully, you're having a super Sunday. Hopefully, everything has gone great for you today. Hopefully so. Hopefully so. Hey, Ethan. How's it going today? I don't know. Did I say Saturday or Sunday? Today is actually Saturday, not Sunday. I don't know. Can't remember if I said Sunday. But thank you. Thank you for that correction. I couldn't remember. Yeah, when I saw that, did I say Sunday? My bad. My bad. Please accept that correction. Hazy Adams, thank you for stopping by. I messed around. Yeah, you said Sunday. Yeah, my bad. That's one of those human and the one part of being human, I guess. One of those human mistakes. But my bad. I do apologize for that. Might need to go back and erase it. But today is actually Saturday. I'm trying to rush our time. Z Adams, I actually said, hopefully everybody's having a super or splendid Sunday or whatever. I'm jumping ahead by a day, but it's actually Saturday. So hopefully everything is going well for everybody on this splendid Saturday, this great day that we have here. So what do you do on this channel? Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Just talk about, well, this is today is a chit chat. Just pretty much talk about trending topics, focus on education. Is that's pretty much all I do on this channel. So yesterday we discussed the topic. One of the main topic we talked about several yesterday, but we did hit on. I brought to my channel. I mod for someone on a different channel, and I was asked by one of the followers in the audience asked me, why is it hard for people to find love? So it kind of like put me on the spot. I'm like, okay, you kind of caught me off guard. That would be a good discussion for me to bring over to my channel. So, like I said, we just talk about a little of this and a little of that. So, this is what we call a chit chat right here. I do have some information coming out maybe around midweek. I can't. I have a busy day Monday, so I don't even know if I'll be able to go live on Monday. But I'm going to share some information. I don't know where you're located, what part of the world. I got the answer to that. Ha ha ha. Well, you should have been a part of the chat yesterday of the live stream because I had there was a guy in there, another content creator. I asked for his opinion, but he said, "Well, maybe you need to ask me that question later. That's kind of like a hard question." So, like, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but he didn't give an answer to it. But it was kind of interesting. So I thought that would be something good to bring up for discussion over here. So it was. Okay, you're in okay, Houston. Okay, gotcha. Never been to Houston. Never been to Houston. I've been to Amarillo, Texas, but never to Houston. Never, ever, ever. Ethan, you've been living out there all your days? Were you born there? Or did you just relocate there? Never been to Houston before. In fact, people are broken and lied and down generation. Love has faded and changed along with people being greedy and human nature to always want more. Okay, yeah, I'm 21. Okay, okay, culinary school. Awesome. So we like to cook. We like to cook. That's a very interesting answer, but we had a really good time with that topic on yesterday. We really did. Had an awesome time with it. And actually, today I had contemplated. Well, as a matter of fact, today I'm like, okay, we talked about love yesterday. So my sister and we were talking earlier about marriages. Like, why are marriages so different? And a friend and I, as I drove into to work yesterday, we didn't hit on that love part for me to be hit with that question abruptly, just kind of like caught me off guard. But we did talk about relationships, just relationships in general. And my sister and I, we were talking this evening. I actually started to bring up something. Well, I'm sure because it's affected everywhere in the United States. Why are people not majoring in education anymore? But I'm like, okay, I don't think I want to talk about education. Not on a Saturday. We'll hit that through the week. And but anyway, we kind of like tossed around. We talked about marriages. Why are marriages? What's the difference in marriages of today compared to marriages of years ago? Marriage is completely different in the Bible from what people make it today. I agree. A lot of other things too. A lot of other things. People are pulling what they want to do, and some people are not referencing the Bible at all. It's just another book, and they just go along with life and just do whatever it is that they want to do. That's exactly what's going on. Z Adams, are you still there? Marriage is completely different in the Bible from what people make it today. That's a good point. Very good point. Nowadays, men and women want to, I guess, leech, okay, nowadays, and fall too quickly since they share one interest. LOL. I kind of like probably know what that interest is. I kind of like probably know what the interest is. If it's the S word, I guess that's what I'm thinking of. Someone and I, we talked about that earlier. That's kind of like the way of life now. That S word. And we also tossed around what do you think are there? Okay, I feel that people don't take marriage seriously anymore. Okay, unlike they did back in the day. Not completely, not always. Okay, the S word. That's just what came to my mind. Just what came to my mind. Are there more stable though? Are marriages more stable and long lasting? And are the marriages true of today compared to years ago? What are your thoughts about that? Was more like referring to like they share an interest or hobby. Okay, hobbies or whatever. Okay, you were referring to that. Okay, I was thinking about that hot word is overrated, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. And here, not that I have all the answers or facts. When I say we, I'm included. I often remind everybody I'm included. I give that disclaimer. I'm included in that we as well. Z. Adams says no. Once I feel do it for support. You think that they do, and that was going to be, you think they do it for support opposed to for love? So do you think, Z Adams, back in the day, most of the people married for love opposed to support? Because when you talk about support, what comes to mind, to my mind, is that we as women did not do a lot of working outside of the household back in the day. The husbands, they went out, they provided, they made the money, and we, I'm included in that, we were expected to stay at home, raise the children, clean the house, just do those wifely duties, raise the children, make sure the meal is prepared, when the husband arrives home. Hey, Sheila, look at you, my dear. You jumped right in. I do appreciate it. Thank you for coming over to my live stream, just sharing in the joy. Part of this hour, I only have about 40. Help me with the math. Help me with the math. Probably about 48 more minutes left, because I'm going to do that hour and I'm going to say bye for now and go ahead so we can enjoy the rest of our Saturday, because I said Sunday earlier and didn't mean to. It was one of those human mistakes that we make. But yes, Sheila, thank you so very much, because I know it's probably midnight, real dark, and where you are, right, Sheila? But we were just having a discussion. I shared with them, like on yesterday when I was, and it was not your channel, um, modded for someone, and I had someone in the chat to kind of like pose the question directly to me. John actually said, this question here is for Dr. J. And he went on to ask me, why is it hard for people to find love? So we had that was pretty much primarily about 40 minutes of our discussion on yesterday. We talked about some other things, but that was primarily, and we had a really good discussion on that on yesterday, Sheila. But today, just continuation. Um, uh, Another important factor where love comes in is marriages, and that's what we've kind of like started to hit on today. There more stability, stable, long-lasting, true marriages of today compared to years ago. That's kind of like where we were as far as today. Okay, and Z Adams says, yes, back in the days, when things got hard, they stuck with it. Absolutely. Today, when things get hard financially, etc., the marriage is over. They go straight to the courthouse, right? Ready to end it all. But why? I think most people don't like commitments. Okay. I can kind of like go along with what Z Adams said, and just don't want to put the time in anymore. They don't want to devote the time to hanging in there for the long haul to make it work. Sheila, I got to get my numbers before I fell off the bandwagon. And like I said, before life started life in Sheila here in my country, in my state, in my city / in my town, here at my address, I had kind of like built up my tribes. They were coming in, but I've been off for some few months, and that's why I typed in your chat before I got out. I got to get that consistency. I got to get that consistency again. And like I said, I'm committed to 30 minutes, 45 minutes, at least an hour every day. So if I can do that, and this is my third day, I've done consistent lives. And I do plan, if nothing happens, to come live again tomorrow. Monday is kind of tight. I'll be working I have a job I have to do out of town. So I don't know for sure unless I can do early morning, early 8 a.m. But if I don't make it up here Monday, for sure, I should be able to get back up here on Tuesday. Consistency is key. Absolutely. Absolutely. But life, it gets in the way. My computer was ill. My device was a little bit under the weather. And, I was kind of new at it, so I did not. We're creatures of habit. And I had gotten used to going live and doing all of, whatever I had to do on my laptop computer. But guess what? It broke on me. It actually broke. And I took it to the shop to a specialist. He kept it for about 3 weeks, 3, 4 weeks. And then when I finally got it back, when we got it back, guess what? The same problems that I took it to him for, the problems were still there. When I paid him the money, we got it, brought it home. So anyway, long story short, I ended up getting a new device. But in between time, that little dash right there, guess what? I learned how to maneuver around on my cell phone, which was awesome. So that's what I started to do. So since then, anyway, long story short, I had to end up getting a new computer. Hey, I am. Hey, terrific. She's saying, showing some love to yours truly, Dr. J, the mods, and the chat. Okay, so happy that you're here. Look, I hope that you had stopped in yesterday. We had a really interesting topic going yesterday, but that's okay. You're here today, and I'm happy that you're here, and it's kind of like a continuation today. So Sheila said, "Oh, so sorry, but glad you're back." Yes, 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 and it's all about like that C word, like I just told you over in your life. I got to get back consistency. So I've been trying to shift my mindset and say this is what I gotta do. But I'm proud of me because, like I said, I came on Friday, I did Saturday, and if I just can get that 1 hour in, I did. Well, no, let me back up. I did yesterday. Wait, did I do Thursday? I think I did Thursday. I did Friday. I'm getting my days mixed up all kind of ways. I did Thursday. I did yesterday, which was Friday, and now I'm doing today. And Lord's will, I plan to come on again tomorrow for at least 1 hour. And Monday, like I said earlier, I don't know if I will be able to do Monday, because I do have a little part time gig, and I got to work out of town. I have to go in and do some work. So it might be too late by the time I travel back home because I mean, yeah, I got to go. It's going to be about a 2 hour drive or so. So I don't know. I'll probably be tired. But if I don't go live on Monday, I should be able to go live on Tuesday. But that consistency, I plan to get back on it, ladies. I plan to get back on it. Sheila, you got to hold me accountable. That accountability piece. Hold me accountable. I tell you, you made my day. I am terrific. My girl came through once again. Again, you came through. I appreciate. So happy to see you. I am terrific. Um, but anyway, this is kind of like I was modding yesterday. I am for somebody, Stephanie, and this guy, John Doe, put yours truly on the spot by asking me the freaking question. Why is it hard for people to find love? I did have a rebuttal. I did have a comeback for him, but I said, wow, you got me kind of like twisting my hair. You got me thinking. So I did have a response for him, and today we're just talking about marriages. I said that's the continuation. My sister and I were talking earlier, and I don't know how this came about. I'm like, wow. And initially, I wanted to come up here and talk something about education because here, and I think most of you all live in the United States, maybe except one. But here, we're having a hard time with teacher shortage is an issue and trending issue and topic here in the United States. And I wanted to talk about that, but I'm like, today is Saturday. Folks have been to the football games. We go to the movies on Saturday. We go to the Little League activities at the rec department. We don't want to talk about education, not on the weekend. We don't want to talk about that. So I had told my sister we would just, I said, I think we'll talk, I want to say something about education. That's a topic that we talk about during the week. So then I don't know what happened. I thought about marriages. I looked over something had popped up in my feed or on my screen about. I'm like, okay, that would kind of like feed into the relationship from yesterday. So what we were talking about today, terrific. Are there more stable? And we already got the conversation started. Are there more stable and long-lasting true marriages of today compared to years ago? And a couple said that I think the young man Ethan, he was in here earlier, but you can go back up and see what the comments were. earlier. He was saying that not completely, not always the word. He said nowadays men and women want to leech nowadays and fall too quickly since they share one interest. Now, I thought that the interest that he was referring to was the S word, but that was not what he was referring to because, I just feel like that is overrated nowadays. Now, Z Adams said share earlier that she said no. Most I feel too. She feels like most of the marriages now are based on support. And I think before you came in, we were talking about back in the days, the moms, the mothers, oftentimes they did not work, just to bring you up. They did not work. The dad would go out, provided for the families. Those were the good old days back then. And I'm not saying that we don't do that now or men don't do that now because I know that some do. And the women were expected to stay at home, to take care of the kids, to make sure the children are ready to go to school, make sure, they're taught, they know their names and alphabets and all that good stuff that those teachers expected them to know when they hit kindergarten. Women were expected to just stay home and keep the house, make sure dad or the husband has a hot cooked meal ready, when he came home from work, have dinner ready, go ahead and pack. They didn't have lunch bags, a lot of them back in the day. So to make sure wives were expected to make sure they have that lunch, put in that brown paper bag. They probably called it the paper sack back then. But times have changed. Time have changed, and that's what Z Adams was saying now that she feels like they do it for the support. So that's just bring you up. Terrific as to where we are. Okay, hey, Granny B, you were able to make it in. You were able to make it in. You said, hey, Dr. J, how are you? Two hands on keyboard and looking at the front door. I just wanted to come on for a few minutes. Okay. And I understand life happens. You're busy. I understand. I understand. And I really didn't expect to see you today on my way to a birthday party. Hey, everyone, but have fun at that birthday party. If you are still here, eat a slice of cake for me. Sheila said, I will. I would love to see you. Oh, yes. Hopefully, 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 hopefully. And thank you. Please hold me accountable. Sheila is going to hold me accountable to make sure yours truly does what she's supposed to. Okay. I don't know. Okay, you said no. Muhammad, hey, all the way from Iraq. Hey, my friend, thank you so much. Thank you so much for stopping in to say hello, to show your love to everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How are you guys? I'm fine. I'm doing great. I am great. I am great, great, great. Okay, Granny B is saying, hey Sheila. Okay, Muhammad, terrific. How are you all doing? Okay, the commitment isn't there. We must learn to court and not lead by lust. Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one. I'm looking, I'm working in oil company north of Iraq. Okay, that sounds interesting. To make money for look at you, for my family, my wife and kids. My kids. Okay, they live in Turkey. Look at you. Have a friend from all the way from way over yonder, so far away, but you're so close here. For more safety and take care of my mom. Oh, awesome. Now that's a sweet, sweet, sweet son. Awesome. Hi, Danae. Hi. Thank you for stopping by. Okay, Muhammad is saying, hey, Granny. Good job. Okay, absolutely, Granny B. Hey, Gail, look at you. You decided to join me. I think I told you I would be this way a little bit later today. Thank you for stopping by. Okay, we're showing each other some love. Terrific says, hey, Granny B. Okay, thank you for those hugs there, Gail. Am well. How about you, Granny B? Okay, Sheila. Muhammad, I see you love your family. Absolutely. That is so awesome. And that's kind of like what I said earlier, because that's the way the conversation was going. Um, that's how it used to look back in the day. And that's what we were trying to dissect and break apart. Are there and Muhammad, according to him, there is, because he's doing those same type things that men used to do way back yonder. So we were just discussing what has happened. What has happened? Do people marry for love anymore? Do they marry for looks? Sadly, physical attraction, finances, benefits, and all of those things that you would probably check no in at the beginning when you're looking for a mate. So Muhammad says, my mom, she is 7 to 8 years old, and I must take care of her. Okay, my mom, because she's everything of my life. Absolutely, such a good son, and I have a son as well, and I need to let him see this, so that he would know to do the same thing that you're doing for your 7 to 8 year old mom. That is just so beautiful. It is. It is. It is. This discord between black men and women, systematically orchestrated. Okay, elaborate on that a little bit more, Granny B, if you don't mind. Okay, Gail, thank you for those hearts there. If y'all don't mind, to hit that like button while you're in. I think most of you that's here has already subscribed to the channel, which is a good thing. Yeah, I love my family, Granny. I can look, we can tell. We can tell. But why is it? Well, we can tell. We can truly tell. But it seems like everybody is in agreement that um with the same answer, are there what was there more stability in marriages in the past? Marriages in the past, did they last longer? Were they true marriages compared to marriages of today? Compared to marriages of today. So that was our topic of discussion. And there's information out there. Do people marry for love anymore? What's the number one cause of divorces? I think my last reading, I think it was like the statistics that I saw, I think it was based on finances. Finances was the number one reason for ending most marriages. Yeah, I love my family, Granny. Okay, we can tell. We can tell by those actions. We can we can surely tell. Did anybody attend any? It is Saturday. Did anybody attend any football games, high school football games? I know most of the high school football games in my area, they're played either on Thursday or Friday nights, and usually Saturday in my area. And every now and then they might play a game on Sunday, but mostly Saturdays, college games are held. So I said all that to say that anybody have an opportunity to go out to the football field to cheer and root on your favorite teams. Anybody had that kind of exciting weekend starting with yesterday or Thursday? I did not. I did not. I had to. What did I do yesterday? I forgot what I did yesterday, but today I had to go to a funeral. I had to go to a funeral a few hours ago. We have to remember men have always been a source of stability and protection for family. But when government put a hedge between black men and women, uh, cohesion of families started breaking. Got you. So, Granny B, you're thinking that maybe the government is responsible for some of this? That's a possibility. Okay, we have to remember. It's been a source of stability. Yes, back in the day, that's kind of like, the way it was. Kind of like Muhammad was saying all the things that he's doing. That's how things used to be back in the day, but that's not always the case nowadays. Not in my environment. I can just speak for, what I witness and what I see. Okay, I am used to, okay, no, my baby doesn't like football. Okay, gotcha. I understand that too. I totally understand. Muhammad says, okay, I love my wife Okay, okay, high school sweethearts. I was 16 years old. Because of the bad tradition in my country, I could not marry her until I was 30. Really? Finally, I won after many years, Granny. Wow. So why did you have to wait so long if you don't mind my asking? You loved her. You've been in love with her since she was 16 years old. But because of the bad traditions, okay, bad traditions in your country, you were not allowed to marry her until you turned 30. So how old did she have to be a particular age, or are you all around the same age? Why did you have to wait so long? That's a long time to wait for love. Oh wow. Oh wow. That's a long time. So hopefully you all will see some more years like that. That's such a warming story. In order for families in need to get support, the man could not be in the home. Okay. Right. Gotcha. 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 Okay. The Adam says, no, she did not attend the football game. Sheila, okay, you just been indoors. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, for your loss. Okay. Granny B, we have to look at when the cohesiveness of families began and take that journey to where we are today as far as relationship between, I guess, between man and a woman. Okay, true love. Okay, absolutely. That's some true love there. He said that he had been loving his wife, I guess his future his friend then, or his fiance since she was 16, but he had to wait until 30 before he can actually ask her hand in marriage. I'm like, wow. Talk about wow. Wow. That's one of those moments. That's one of those moments. That's one of those stories you read about in those love novels. Uh-oh. Sounds like one of those Cinderella, one of those what's the place? Walt Disney movies or something. Black men and women, I am black, so I am coming from a black perspective. That's what I know. Gotcha. What did you say before that about the cohesiveness of families? Take that journey to where we are today as far as relationship. Gotcha. Absolutely. Very valid point too, Granny B. Very valid point. But let me ask you this. How do we, this is a question I like to ask, so is it possible to get it back to the way it used to be umpteen years ago? Where do we start? Where do we go? How do we get that stability back? How do we get that longevity back? How do we make marriages true and make them reflect, I guess, on what God's expectations of marriages are? How do we kind of get a portion of that back? Is it possible? Is it possible? Dr. J, I'm going to have to leave. Okay, Granny B, you get us all fired up and started, then you have to run away. But the content today is very much needed. Wow, okay. We have to find that connection again. Okay, okay. Sounds good. Well, okay, very much needed. Well, we might have to do a part two. We might have to do a part two on that, Granny B. We were almost the same. Okay, you were almost the same age, okay? But our love story was exposed. Uh-oh, it was exposed. And her family found out, okay? Our traditions, love is forbidden and marriage is traditional. But now, almost everything has changed. I'm so sorry because my English language not good, but I'm still trying. You're doing awesome. You are doing awesome. I am following your story. You are doing awesome. Do you mind my accent? Which country are you tuning in from? Yes, I can understand. Can you all understand his love story? I follow it. I do. Okay, terrific said that she does. Okay, that's right. You said all right. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Never been there before. To Iraq, Baghdad. Only read about those in the book or we see it on the news. But it's so great to have you up here. It warms my heart. So very great to have you here. Thank you so much for stopping by. Z Adams said that I don't feel that we can get it back. Wow. Okay, I feel that it is the way you are raised and the value that has been instilled. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Yes, we do understand him. Absolutely, Sheila, we do. Hey, SA, where in the world have you been? I guess you probably say, where in the world have you been, Dr. J? So glad that you were able to stop by. So glad that you were able to stop by today to join in. We have okay, see those family traditions. SA, I'm assuming you're off, either that or you're on break. Yes, I follow it. So yes, Muhammad, you are doing an excellent job at communicating with us. Look, I even want to hear some more. You need to go ahead and write you a book one day. Yes, I follow it. Okay, says the Adam. Okay, see those family traditions can positively impact relationships. Yes, yes, yes. Kind of like the folks say, don't do. Oh, I don't want to mess it up. I got you. But that makes a whole lot of sense. And I was working with American Army in 2004 and 2005. Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha. Yes, off this weekend. Okay. So you'll be able to rest up. That's great. That is great. But we were just trying to and I know, we'll be coming to an end, but just bringing you up to date. Essay. We had a discussion yesterday. I did go live yesterday, and I one of the channels that I mod for, I had one of the participants or the subscribers to ask me this particular questions. Why is it hard for people to find love? And it kind of took me back, but I maneuvered around it, and I was able to kind of like I had to, think quick on my feet and so it led us into initially I thought about, okay, education, that's a hot topic too. And we know that throughout the whole state, the whole country of the United States, that there is a problem with teachers. There's a teacher shortage. So I thought, well, maybe we should talk about that today. I'm like, nah, we don't want to talk about that. Not on a Saturday. Not on a Saturday. People, we look forward to TGIF yesterday. And then today, people, if you're like me, when I used to work full time, you run around and you do whatever you need to do on the weekend. You run your errands, you do this, you do that, then you try to rest. We don't want to talk about education, not on the weekend, not on a Saturday. So my sister and I, we spoke earlier, and I don't know how the topic came up about marriage. I'm like, wow, maybe that's my confirmation. That kind of like, can be a bounce off. A part B to our conversation on yesterday that I shared. But after the young man asked me that on Stephanie is the young lady that I mod for, and that question came up. I'm like, man, that's pretty interesting. He kind of like left me baffled a little bit, because I mean that question coming from a man, as I shared, and I won't go back and repeat all the stuff that we discussed on the live yesterday. So I'm like, man, that would be a good question. Let me at least bring that up, when I go live and see, what kind of responses I get from the people that's in my live stream. So that's what we did yesterday, and today is kind of like a spinoff from there. So the question for our discussion for today, I had asked are there more stable, long lasting, true marriages of today compared to years ago? What's the difference? And that's pretty much what we have been talking about, comparing marriages of today to marriages of way back yonder years ago. And, back in the day, we were talking about men, used to be the primary, the sole provider. The ladies were expected to stay home, make sure the children were okay, make sure when school start, taught the students, taught the children to get them ready to go to school, whether it's the ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s, their name, birthday, and all of that good stuff. And they were expected, to keep house, to make sure dinner is prepared for dad. When he got home from work, make sure she got that lunch ready in that brown sack, and make sure he had breakfast before he went to work every day. That's a huge difference just in what I just said compared to what we see today. So that's all we were talking about. What's the difference? Where's that stability of today, like used to be back in the day? Where's the longevity? I mean, marriages are not lasting as long as they used to. Back in the day, folks used to stay married 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 8 decades because oftentimes they would get married at what, 15, 16? And then, true marriages. And I think Z Adams put in the chat earlier, back then, they used to work through when problems came. They tried to work them out back in the day. But as of right now, as soon as a problem comes, oh, look, divorce. Give me the paperwork, or I'm having my lawyer to serve you those papers today. It's over. It's done. It's no negotiating. It's no trying to work through it. It's no marriage counseling. It's no this, no that, no nothing. It's either my way. I'm standing firm on what I believe. My hubby over here is standing firm on what he believes. And as soon as that courthouse opens, and as soon as that attorney office opens on Monday morning, I will be there to file for that divorce. But we were saying back in the day, they didn't handle marriages like that. And I think the last question before you just came in, as I asked, can we go back to that? How can we get that back? So that's pretty much where we are, our topic of discussion for today, just to bring you up to date. Okay, here's what I understand. I read that. Z Adams said she follows him. See those family traditions? Okay, well, I read that. Okay, essay is off this weekend. I read that. Essay, okay. Okay, terrific. I don't know what GTSY stands for. I know it. Okay. Um, Essay is showing terrific some love. Granny B says we need to start teaching at home. Okay. Okay. And setting standards in our home, teaching women and men to respect each other. Okay, at a very young age. I agree with that. Thumbs up to that. Hey, Demi. Hey, hey, hey. Thank you so much. Thank you for that like, and thank you for stopping by. My dear friend JB. Hey, hey, hey. Thank you for stopping by as well. Demi is showing Dr. J and chat. Some love, some love, some love. Muhammad says, okay. And work with the U.S. Army. Oh, was an honor. Okay, awesome. For me to serve the United States of America, the U.S. of A., and to serve Iraq. But, that but, most of the times when we hook that but up there, the story, the outcome, it changes. So let's see what comes next. Okay, essay said that I heard someone say make a list of what you want for love. Okay, that's a good one. You should have been in with us yesterday. Essay, that's a great response of what you want for love and become everything on that list. You know what? I think I've seen that as well. But essay that goes along. Guess what? And I made sure when I answered after I realized, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take this back and we're going to discuss this. But essay, guess. Look, my response goes along kind of like, and I won't dive into this too much. But my response to John when he asked me that question, why is it hard for people to find love? I had to think quick on my feet because he was really wanting an answer. And it put me on the spot because he typed in the chat directed to me. He said, this question is for Dr. J. I'm like, oh boy, what is this? But anyway, I responded, do you love you? That was my first question because you got to love you, kind of like go along with what you said. Make that list. But first of all, you got to go get over all of that baggage, is what I told John, and all of this stuff that done happened in the past. And you got to know the feelings, those triggers that you're looking for so that you would know if they're right when they come your way, if that makes sense. So that was the first question that I asked him. Do you love you? And the next question I asked him, I put it back on him. You got to sit down and do some soul searching. I said, are you a loving individual? because it sounds like I told John, it sounds like, you've had some bad experience, and we all have, when and I'm a part of that, we when it comes to relationships. So if you have, sometimes we have to sit back, do some soul searching, and look at that common denominator. So I said, are you a loving individual? Have you done any soul searching, John? And I also asked John, say, what are your expectations? So, yes, I agree. That's a very powerful statement that you have there. Hey, Quinn. Hey, my darling. Thank you so much for dropping in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Muhammad says, I work with the American forces, okay, persecuted and threatened with death. Wow. So I sent my family to Turkey to ensure. Wow. So did they feel like you were being a traitor or something? Maybe they felt like you were being a traitor. That is not good. Not good at all. Okay, Essay says, I don't think so because it's a culture now, a microwave relationship. Yes, in and out and on to the next. Boy, I tell you, that seals the deal right there. That's a mouthful right there, Essay. Don't want to work through. Absolutely. Don't want to work through it. Look, we have that disagreement, like I said earlier, when that's okay. I'm standing firmly on, Dr. J is standing firmly on what, or the female says, I'm standing firmly on what I believe, and the man is over there saying, I'm standing firmly on what I believe. Nobody's willing to give anything. That's okay. I want out. I want out. As soon as the attorney office opens Monday morning or Tuesday, if Monday is a vacation, is a holiday, or as soon as that courthouse, I'm going and I'm filing. Don't try to work through it. Don't try to work through it. We don't want to. We don't want to put the time and the work into it. So that is an excellent point, Essay. Absolutely. Muhammad says, they're far away from me. Oh, wow. And they miss, and I bet you do miss them a lot. But a man must fight to make his family happy. So at some point, will you all be able to get back together? When will you all reunite? When will you all have a chance to reunite? I'm sorry that I may have bothered you with this story. No, I apologize. No, because our chit and chat, we talk a little bit about this and a little bit about that. No, I'm the one all over the place. Look, you're actually staying on topic because we are talking about, the marriages, and sounds like you're doing all of those things, the right things. And that's what a man is supposed to do. God charges you all, to take lead of the family, and to be a provider. And I like the fact you're protecting wifey, you're taking care of the kids, you're even taking care of mom. So like I said, I have a son. I got to make sure I share that story with him. So that's great. No, this is awesome. You might need to just write a book one day when you're able to settle down some. But no, this is what we do during chit chat. We don't stick on one topic. It's kind of like now we're all over the place. We chit a little bit about this and a little bit about that. That's how we do it over here. So no, you're no bore at all. Not at all. As they say, it's easier. If you see the model, a family and marriage every day. Yes, and I think someone said that earlier too. Um, Also, essay. So make single parents, okay, absent fathers, all that makes absolutely. That's what they see oftentimes. Yeah, so it would be easier if we are able to see that model family, the model of what marriages should actually be like. So many single parents and absent. Yes, you have a lot of moms that's actually doing it by themselves, for whatever reason, kind of like you, like we just said, instead of uh, staying there, trying to work through it, you go and sleep in the bedroom, I'll sleep in this bedroom until we can work it out. No, we're going straight to the attorney office as soon as something comes about that we do not like. And our dads, and I say every chance I get, whatever group I get before, when I was on my job, like, Dad, I was somewhere, and my plea to the dad, I'm like, Dad, we need you. These women I got about 10 more minutes. We need you, the family. You know, I'm pleading to you for these single parents. The children, most importantly, they need you. We need you. So that's a very valid point. That is a valid point, SA. Happy weekend for all guys, okay? And God bless you all. Amen. Thank you so much. Oh, you brought so much. You brought a lot to the discussion. Muhammad. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Hopefully I did. Thank you so much. Look, and I know this is not your first time visiting, but please, whenever you see the light on, look, stop by. Show a sister, show a sister some love. Show me some love. You are always welcome over here. So please feel free to visit again. I don't know if you were leaving, but you have a great weekend as well. And hopefully you'll get a chance to reunite with your family really, really soon. And also, I would like to say I commend you. I commend you for, help me, fulfilling those manly duties. Kudos to you. I commend you for that. I really do. I really, really do. Kudos to you. Kudos, 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 kudos. That's impressive. That's very, very impressive. Okay, Sheila's, okay. SA says, absolutely, Dr. J. Love yourself. Yeah, so you agree with that list that I had to put back on him? No, you asking me, putting me on the spot of talking about why is it so hard to find love? You got to make sure now. You got to make sure that everything is working right over on your turf. You got to make sure of that before you go out looking for something with all these demands. And like I said, sounds like I did tell John that. I said, sounds like you've had some bad experience in some relationships. And I'm like, let's just be honest. Women are plentiful. Women are plentiful in the world. And I know most of you all or some of you all would agree with me on that. So, there's, I hate to use the word choices. I'll just stick with the word plentiful. Women are plentiful. Um, so what's the problem, John? You need to do some soul searching for real. You need to do, and then somebody in the discussion yesterday did say that it might have been Z Adams. She did say, well, men, could have been Granny B. Somebody said, well, men, they go through things too. They have hardship in relationships, as well as women. So okay, we got that. But I'm just saying, I'm gonna stick with this. It's just my opinion. Women are plentiful. And for me to elaborate on that, it might take another hour or two to talk about that. So you all know what I mean when I say women are plentiful. So John. But I just didn't expect that from him. I haven't been asked that type of question, from a man. And I felt like I was kind of put on the spot. Like I said, I had to think quick on my feet. This question right here is for Dr. J. So of course everybody got involved. Stephanie like, yeah, we want to hear. Let's go, men. Y'all chime in. We want to hear from you too. And then one of the guys, oh, nah. Here we go with this crap about love. Crap about love. 'Cause, oftentimes men they don't like to get involved with that type topic for some reason. And there was one man in the chat yesterday. I hadn't seen Mash come through. And I asked him, okay, from a man's point of view, how would you have answered this? Tell me about this question. And guess what he said? Um, that's a hard question. Can we talk? He said, can we talk about it later? I'm like, really? You're the only man here, and that's what you do to me. We were all sitting back ready. Okay, let's see. From a man's point of view, what are we about to get? And that's what we got. So Sheila says, okay, I have shared. Okay, yeah. Y'all know with these acronyms, y'all know it takes me a minute. It takes me a minute to figure it out. And I'm too embarrassed to even tell this. Back in the day, when they first started with LOL, everybody does LOL now. So I had to ask my son, when it comes to this technology stuff, device, I'm telling you, these young folks will be your best friend. I promise you, when I say they can know every inch of what to do when it comes to this technology, mark my words. So I asked my son, it could have been my niece, What does LOL? What does LOL mean? When, Mama, or TT, laughing out loud. I'm like, oh my God. I felt so embarrassed to have to ask that. So, but I figured out that's live stream there. So I'm doing better. I'm doing better, Sheila. Hopefully more people. Yes, and I think they will come back because, like I said, I kind of like my tribe had kind of found me, but like I said earlier, life started lifing in my country, in my state, in my city slash town, and even here at my address. And it all started with my computer when it went out and lack of knowledge with the cell phone and how to, maneuver around. But I got it now. I have it now. So, like I said, when I put the computer, we put it in the shop. The IT guy ended up keeping the freaking computer for about 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And then when I got it back, the same problem that I put it in there for, guess what? It still existed when I picked it up. So, nevertheless, long story short, I ended up getting a new laptop. So I have that. So I can, and on top of that, when you have to work, that kind of like changes things too. So I just had to come up with a plan. So like I said, I'm good so far. I'm proud of me because this is day 3. This is day 3, and I plan to come back tomorrow. I don't know about Monday because I have a job to do out of town, but hopefully I will be able to keep this consistency alive and up and moving. So, but Sheila, you're supposed to hold me accountable. You're my accountability partner. You got to hold me accountable. But I appreciate it. Thank you so much for that kindness. Muhammad said, I will come back. Okay, please do. You are welcome. And maybe you can finish telling us the story. Okay, I will come back again. I should go right now to make food for my mom. Big, huge, and much love. Okay, I guess a big hug, a big virtual hug, and much love. Much love to you too. And we'll be looking for you to grace us again. Okay? And I do. You did very well with that English. I would not have known. I would have thought that was your first language. So we appreciate you. Always welcome. Thanks again for stopping by to check up on me. Next month I will meet. Okay, awesome. Okay, because I asked earlier, when will you reunite with your family? He said next month I will meet my family, my beautiful wife and kids. Isn't that a book? It's almost like a love story, isn't it? That's so sweet. Nice, nice, nice. That is awesome. And essay says, it's like when the computers and phones malfunction or whatever, it's just time to get a new. Absolutely. And guess what, SA? I've learned that for him to keep my computer for about, like I said, 3, 4, 5 weeks or so. And then the sad part about it, when I finally got it back, the exact same problems that I gave it to him for. Okay, I keep my Apple Care. Okay. Gotcha. Apple Care. I'm not familiar with Apple Care. I'm assuming maybe that's like your maintenance plan for the computer or something. But like I said, fast forward, I went ahead. We just end up. I got a new one. I just got a new laptop. So and that was the HB. I went back to my Dell because I worked and I had a Dell. Sally Sue just died. Well, she just. I can't say she unalive. Well, Sally Sue just went out. Maybe about 5 months ago. But that Dale, ooh, she was around a long time. So the HP was the one that we had problems out of. Hold on. Sorry, y'all keep. Okay, that is great. Okay. Um, breaking news: Arizona flooding. Anybody lives in Arizona? That just popped up on my phone. Arizona flooding. Okay. Okay, thank you. I do appreciate that. Thank you for subbing. I do appreciate that. Okay, let me go back to okay, Apple Care. Okay. Hey, Miss Mary Dixon is up in the house. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm so glad that you caught me here. Hi, Dr. J. I missed a lot. But yeah, we're about to end up, but I'm glad that you came over. I am so very happy that you came over. I see some hearts. Please keep those hearts flowing. I like to see the hearts. What else did Mary say? Okay, we'll catch the replay. Happy Saturday to you as well. Continue to enjoy that nice weather. Hopefully the weather is nice. I'm just so happy for it to be fall season so we can get out of those high 90s degrees. 80s, they're still hot, but they're better than the 90 degrees. Thank you so much for stopping by to check up and hang out a little while with me. Muhammad says, okay, you came back. Okay. SA says exactly. Okay, yeah, okay, the maintenance plan. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, we have to keep the maintenance plan. And I had one on that one, so that kind of helped out. So hopefully. Hey, Nikki. Hey there. Thank you for stopping by to check up on me. Thank you for coming over to hang out with Dr. J and the crew, Dr. J and the chat. But we're about to wrap it up, but I am going to go through all of these comments. It's a great honor for me to meet a wonderful, well, how kind. That is so sweet. With a kind and understanding heart. Okay, I'm honored to subscribe to your truly distinguished channel. Well, thank you. Thank you. We tried to make it worthwhile over here, but most importantly, hopefully we would be able to stay consistent. For real. I keep talking about that C word. That's what it's all about. But like I said earlier, life it just started lifing over here with me. Like I said, in my country, and I say country because we're from all parts of the world, this beautiful world, to my state, my city, all of this address right here. Life just started lifing. But hopefully, we have things back to where they need to be. And I was able to do a little bit more too before we start having those technical issues, because, being a fresh retiree and not having to leave the house to, when you start picking up these side gigs, it's interfere, it interfered with my free time. So all I can say, the best way to sum it up is life just started to life. Life was lifing over here for me. Okay, you're welcome. All right, Mary. I'm still here running my mouth and I should be through. Okay, Nikki says that you're welcome too. So you all please come back. I think most of y'all have been here before, but if not, if this is your first time, please don't make it your last time. Make sure your notification bell is set. My time is pretty much up, and I usually do about an hour. It just depends on how hot and juicy the topic is. I do roughly around an hour. Every now and then, we'll go over an hour, but at least an hour, and we're done. Okay, yeah, absolutely. I'm over there in the house with Marco most of the times. Absolutely, Nikki. That's exactly where I know you from. Absolutely. Yes, we do. We love the fall. Love those leaves there. Thank God for the fall. Oh yeah, you have that hot heat too out in Texas. I know it's scorching out there as well. So I won't complain. I prayed for these 80 degrees because it's been an extremely hot, humid summer. But the good thing about it, that rain helped us out a lot, SA. It did come through and it did cool things off. It did. Hadn't had a chance to go to a football game yet. A good friend of mine, is principal at one of the local high schools. And I did some work I do some consulting work, get some consultant work at his school. He's like, Dr. J, you got to come on now. Come on out to a football game. That's why I keep throwing out to you all. Okay, football game in your city, your town. Do y'all do high school football games on Thursday or Friday? Because here We play, especially if you have two or three high schools sharing the same field. Sometimes they have to play on a Thursday. So that's why I have been asking you all if you all had an opportunity to go to any high school football games and or college, because here in my area, colleges, they play on Saturday. And a friend of mine, I was supposed to go to her nephew plays for one of the neighboring colleges, but I ended up not going. It's too hot to be out there. And I'll whisper and tell you all, it's too hot to be out there on those bleachers. So I usually would start going to football games around probably the end, well, it's almost the end of September next week. But like in October when it cools off, some. So I said that to say, my good buddy is a principal at one of the local high schools. And I was in his school, I guess about 2 or 3 weeks ago, doing some work. And he's like, you gotta come, Dr. J. Y'all gotta come. Y'all gotta come to football games or whatever and hang out with us. I told him, I'm like, Dr. Bill, love you, but okay. I never told him it's too hot. We gotta wait till it cools off. But each team, they only have so many home games. So I got to look at the schedule. I stopped by his school and get a copy of the schedule so I can see, because I do want to take him up on that offer and attend a couple of the football games. But I got to wait. I got to wait until it cools off just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. So that's why I often ask you all. Okay, SA, thank you. So hopefully I get a chance to see you around. Like I said, we plan to get back consistent up here. We do. And I haven't forgotten, I have the information. I have some good stuff coming. I did something on literacy. I have some, and I hope y'all don't think that I'm just jumping around, but since we're chitting and chatting, I'm gonna try to get it in before we end. I did one on literacy. I have some more coming on literacy. I have and I know we talked about devices earlier. I have some information coming on devices, and I should be able to do that next week. Of course, absenteeism, we're going to talk about that because that's a huge problem within the schools. We tell the parents, the government, your local government, they hold the teachers responsible for teaching them. But I'm like, parents, guess what? They can't teach them if they're not at school. So we got to get these babies in school. And I haven't forgotten the one on the IEP. I have all of that stuff. What you looking for? I have all of that stuff stacked up. So I have some pretty interesting things. Well, I think they're interesting, but it's in my pocketbook. I think it's interesting looking at Silver Part. But I'm gonna share it, and we'll see where it goes. And those are the things I do when we have content. But like today, on the weekend, we don't give content. We just do just some chitting and some chatting. We talk a little bit about this and a little bit about that. But I do have the information coming, essay on the IEPs. Oh wow. Okay, wonderful. Okay, you sure married some love? Okay. Weather crazy everywhere. Absolutely, Nikki. Absolutely. And then, it makes you ask yourself, is this biblical? Is this biblical? Is this the way that it's supposed to be? And something else that I asked the chat the other day. Were you all in tune with I guess mostly primarily social media saying that the world was going to come to an end the 23rd and the 24th? Did you all get really involved with that? Mary says we have football games on Friday. Okay, where I live. Okay, awesome. And it used to always be on Friday, but as the communities continue to grow and more people are coming, and then they're building enough high schools, and they don't have enough SPLOS money to always build, because it takes now millions of dollars. Some of these high schools that they build cost $25 million plus. And then a lot of them now are getting, really sophisticated, and they don't want to play on the regular grass. They get the turf put on the field, and oftentimes, Mary, they don't have the money, the funds at the time that they build the school to invest in the football field. So they have to share one football field, and then some of the schools have to they have to play on Thursday because here where we live, I think what do we have? There's either seven or eight. I think about 7 or 8 high schools, and almost all of them are 4, 5, and 6 A's. So they have to share. Let me go ahead and finish up, so because I want to keep to my time. So I make sure y'all come back and visit me again because my hour is up. Yes, they are all interested. Okay, and informative, absolutely. But now I have things working right, and if my computer is not working right, we can always use the cell phone. So I've been doing pretty good. I'm gonna brag on me a little bit. This is my 3rd day. I've been consistent. So, like I said, I'm gonna try to do tomorrow. Um, and then Monday, I don't know about Monday. I have a full jam packed day for Monday. So it just depends. I got to do a job out of town. And it might be late when I get because it's about 2 hours away. Go Getter is in the house. You are in the building. Thank you so much, my dear, for stopping by. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hopefully you're having a super Sunday. Mohammed says I may be a. No, you're fine. You are fine. Thank you for those hearts too. I may be a bit talkative, but I love communicating with all people. And we are elated that you are here with us. I'm going to be upset now if you don't come back. So I am giving you the key to the house. So come on back. Um, Even if their language is different from mine, because I love people and peace. Yes, yes, we love peace too and people. Absolutely. Now, from what I've been reading, I've been able to read your story well. It's been on point. I would have thought that English was um, your first language. Essay showing some love to go get her. I'm gonna say, okay, showing some love to go get her. Essay, okay, go get her, showing some love. I would catch your replay there. Absolutely. I do appreciate that. And thanks so much to each of you all for stopping by. It has made my day go from super to splendid. All the way to splendid. Thank you all so much for stopping by to check up on yours truly. So that's some of the information, but you probably won't catch me doing content like that on the weekend because weekend is just a time to let your hair down and kind of relax, rejuvenate from that long work week, and we won't do that type of stuff. We just do the chit chat because kind of like the chit chat because we're all over the place like we were today, just all over the place. But it was all good. It was all good dialogue. I enjoyed it. Okay, I'm in a beautiful house. Am in a beautiful. Okay, awesome. You are in the beautiful house. Okay. And it warms my heart to know that you will be reunited with your wife and your children really, really soon. So that is awesome. That is very awesome. Love your story. Love it, love it. So I invite each of you all to come back when the opportunity presents itself. And you believe you me, I know that life happens. I know that it happens. So just if you're able to stop by when you see the light comes on, that would be great. I'm in a beautiful house. So that is all I have for for this super Saturday. Hopefully I will get a chance to I don't know exactly what time tomorrow. I know it won't be before, I guess, church hours. So but please, you are welcome to come back. Thank you again for stopping by. And I'm going to go ahead and get ready to end this live so that I can continue my super, like I said, my Saturday went from super to splendid. Okay, y'all have touched my heart. Check out my phone. Oh, check out my home. You know what I mean? Hmm. Okay, okay, I will. I will. I think I know what you mean. Yeah, I will. I will. I surely will. I will. Just connect. Just come over my way. Stop by my house, and I will. I surely will. Be glad to. I will be happy to. Okay? I would be happy to. I will try to do that when I get off. I will. I surely will. So, with that being said, good people, I'm going to go ahead and end the live for today. And hopefully, I will see you all back on tomorrow. Okay. Thank you so much. You're welcome. And I thank you too. So, I will. I'll stop by your house. I'll get me a flight out. I already have my passport. I will get a flight out and I will come your way. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate the hearts. God bless you all, guys. Here, amen. Okay, and thank you. God bless you as well. I send that right back to you. Right back to you. So that's all I have. So I'm going to go ahead, continue to have a super Saturday, and we shall chat later. Bye for now.